Welcome back to part 3 of the HG rebuild, guys. In this episode, we tackle this rust. Also, we've had a great response to the tool giveaway, as we always do. And I'm going to add more prizes to that before it's drawn. I've got stubby holders coming and probably a couple other little things I'm going to add into that. Sit back, have a coffee, and just relax and enjoy. Well, Milwaukee. Everything I've got is Milwaukee, and I've been threatening to buy myself some tools for a little while. Brought this, and it is an absolute cracker. Okay, guys, this is a shame. These tyres, all four, are beautiful. Beautiful condition. The only problem is they're 17 years out of date. So I've got the car up in the air. Look at that. I reckon they're brand new. Not far off brand new, those brake pads. Well, brand new all those years ago. But look at the disc. Now that was quite common to do that back in the day. Just let the pads wear into it. I mean, Jesus, that's huge. I wonder what the other side's like. The other side, not so bad. Well, at least they changed both sets of pads. The sway bar rubbers are pretty well knackered. Apart from that, look, these ball joints and everything didn't have a great deal of movement in it, but when you go on this far, why wouldn't you do it? I asked the question because every single one of those rubbers that are in there and all that grease and everything that's in there has been there for 20 years plus. So they might look good, changing them. Well, that impact gun saved me so much work, it's not funny. Now, pulling the front of this car is just exactly the same as pulling another car apart, whether it be Ford, Valiant, whatever. Just take your time, put nuts back on bolts when you take them off so you know where they are, bag everything, and take lots of photos so you know how things go back together. Now, these brakes were a little bit of a hassle because the clips that hold them in weren't holding them properly, so you had to do it with two spanners even though they were clipped in the brackets. I'm not sure if that's a factory thing or what, but anyway, got them all off, got them all undone without damaging them. Now I've got some brake line spanners, guys. They were cheap off of eBay. They are the best things to have in your toolbox, so I highly recommend out of everything you do, go and buy some of those. All right, I'll crack that lower ball joint now so I can get that spring out that side. And I'll do the same for the other side. Whatever you do, boys, do not drop it. Right. You right to lift it? Hey, test lift it first. So this was a bit heavy for him, and I took the torque converter out to make it a bit lighter. But thanks, guys, for getting off your computers and coming out in the shed. Thank you very much, boys. My back is buggered. Now that's how you do it. You just got to get a hand. Sometimes I hurt my back this morning, but I've got to keep soldiering on because I am a one-man show. Now, when you put your transmissions on the floor in a shed on concrete, always make sure you put it on top of something because they sweat and you don't want that. Even if you sat a transmission on concrete for 5, 6, 7 years, you can guarantee you're going to get moisture in there because it's just like a can of beer, guys. You get moisture, so always sit it on something. So back to this front end, guys. Now, I have never worked on a HG. I've owned that many of them. Whenever we had a problem, we'd go to the wreckers, and for 50 bucks, you'd just buy the whole subframe and roll everything straight under it. So I'm learning. Well, doing that spring like that was a bit of a pain in the ass because there's absolutely no weight on the front of that car. Ordinarily, you can just jack it up, put some pressure on it, undo that bolt, and drop it down. But it was a little bit of a pain in the ass doing it like that. So I might just drop this front end out and leave the other spring in, and I'll use my spring compressors on that when it's on the ground. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be that hard. So that was those two bolts here, there and there for the steering arm. So now the steering arm can come straight off. That's the bracket for holding the brake lines. So you just got to remember how things go back together, guys. Righto, so it is ready to drop that cross member out. Now, I didn't bother videoing taking off the rotors and simple things like that, or unscrewing these headlights. And I mean, I don't really need to make up the time as far as adding time to the videos, guys. I don't think you guys are into all that sort of stuff, so I didn't put it in. But I will show you the front end coming out. And as easy as that, guys. Now, these rubbers aren't too bad. I mean, actually, no, they're not. They're knackered. They are... We probably could have got away with it, but I was changing them anyway. So, look at that. Not even rusted out inside there. Easy peasy Japanesey. So all I've done here, guys, is cut a bit of cardboard to try and get that correct shape and angles. So I reckon that's pretty bloody good, pretty bloody close. I'm going to now I do apologise. I had the camera around the wrong way for the next 10 seconds. So here's the piece here. I just bent it on, just roughly bent it to try and get into shape. So now the idea is to figure out how long I want it. And you can see that that should be, this end here needs to be on an angle, because the bottom of that bottom of this comes up on a slight angle. So I need to angle that end. But first I need to figure out how wide, how big a piece I need in here. So I don't need a really big piece or a wide piece across here, but I want it to come as close to this hole as I possibly can, that one there, sorry, and then come across. So I replace all that. So I'll keep it all the one thickness. So all I've done here is got a larger piece of timber, and I've cut that shape out with the jigsaw. The theory is I can push that tin through there and start tapping around. Righto, so there's my bit of timber. You turn it up that way. There's the angle that I require. So now it's just a case of, you probably can't see it, but I've rounded that edge on this side just a little bit, so it's not so square. Let's try and stretch that. So the idea of this is just to slowly stretch that. I didn't want it to rip. I didn't want to start having to weld pieces on the corners. But anyway, it turned out really nice. I was happy with the end result. Righto, so that's stretching that quite nicely around there. No cutting and welding. Keep going, I suppose. So what I'm doing here is I'm grinding from the back these spot welds, and I'm just trying to crack them because I want to save as much of this original spot weld across the front and trim that down to the bare minimum and try and retain all these. It's a slow, tedious job. Don't mind doing it, actually. Okay, so that's all cut out now. I'll hit that with the wire brush, and I'll probably end up putting a little patch in here to repair that one. Sorry about the light, guy, because LED lights don't work that well with the cameras. And then I'll try, and then I'll tinker with this bit here. I'll just, because I don't have the little die grinders and stuff like that, there's nothing flash in Grumpy's garage, so I'll just actually use the air grinder and grind that up. Grind this. You've got to make do with the tools you got, I suppose. So I've almost got that piece pretty good. If you look down there, that edge isn't too bad. I've just got to bend that around just a little bit. I've definitely come up higher. So it's just going to be a case of trim this down. We have a look from the front. It is, hang on a minute. What's that? Well, that's it for Grumpy for tonight. I'm having a scotch. Well, you guys, I don't have to explain too much. There's a million and one how to repair rust videos on YouTube the proper way, and I am no expert. I'm just showing you the kind of work that I've had to do. So after a little bit of time, I've got the gaps on that. Not too bad. I probably need to take a tiny little bit more out of here to create a nice gap, but that can lift up a little bit. Just having trouble getting the magnet to hold it. But I will take just a tiny little bit more out of there to leave a gap. And I think that front is going to clean up quite nicely. Now, the beauty of living where I live, it is actually 3:30 in the morning. I woke up, couldn't get back to sleep, had a coffee and thought, bugger it. I'm going out there and I'm cutting and I'm grinding. I got no neighbours. So I'm just tacking that patch in there. Now, right along the bottom here is very wavy on the original panel. So I'll try and get it as best I can, but because I want to retain those spot welds, it's kind of all over the shot. Let's see, I'll just do the best I can, I suppose. So there it is there. I blew a few holes in it and had to fill it up. But anyway, let's hit it with the grinder. So I like to use the big grinder with the floppy disk on it and just go across it as slow as I possibly can and don't even get close to the original metalwork. And then I use the little belt grinder, but the belts are quite expensive, so I like to hit it first with this. Well, we're getting there. It's not too bad. That bloody LED light. So we're getting there. That's not too bad. A couple of high spots through here still that I've got to grind down, but I need to go get some products
because that grinding disc is too rounded. It's knackered just about. I need one of those, a couple of those. Believe it or not, this flappy disc, because I'm only using it on the edge, I'm not getting much use out of it at the moment. I want a couple of these. I get a box of those, and I definitely need more of these for the egg grinder. I've only got 2 left, taken too long. These are the wrong ones to start with. I'll go down and get the correct ones. They might last longer and actually do something. So it looks like Desi's going shopping. Righto, so I've managed to keep all this so far, which is good. That's what I wanted to keep. That's a little bit lumpy. Won't take much to fill out. And this rust spot here, I've taken this out with a file instead of trying to get the grinding wheel in there. It's just a lot easier. So I cut a plate, weld that in. So I've got this little piece here now cut, ready to go in there. And then tack this along here, clean it all and grind, and that's it. It is ready for a skim of bodybuilder. Look at that. Hit myself the grinder. Like Dad used to say, if you're not bleeding, you're not working hard enough. Anyway. Okay, so I've been going since about 4 o'clock this morning. It's now 2 o'clock. And I've just finished doing all the welding and all the grinding. So I might put just a very, very light skimmer bog just to fill these holes up. That's it. But that's bloody beautiful. I'm happy with that. Good enough for Grumpy Shed. I shouldn't say that, should I? He's actually the owner of the car, and he turned up last night, and we're getting into it early this morning. So he drove all the way up from Melbourne to come and help me prep these floors, get them painted before he goes home. So I'm hoping that will be by Sunday.
Well, I thought I'd give him the easy job first and start vacuuming it out and do the floor on the inside. We'll get that all prepped and painted and finished first, I reckon, before we attack the underside. And while he's in there working, I'll continue pulling the rest of this engine bay so that we can work together, which is quite uncommon in Grumpy's garage. Now, I was hoping that I'd be able to get this brake booster out without lying on the floor and getting under the dashboard and disconnecting everything, but there I no hope of getting to that bolt.
Love hard work. I could watch it all day.
What the hell that is? We're done.
Safety first. High vis man.
Well, Desi's been at it for about half an hour and his knees were hurting already, the poor bugger. You go right.
We're not getting it all off, right?
All this?
Yeah.
No, you just got to get down to the really, like the black section.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll put the rust treatment on it.
It's your car, Desi, so just get to work and work hard.
Righto, high vis guy's disappeared. Don't know where he's gone. Let's see what he's up to. Ooh, nice job. That's pretty bloody good. That's almost ready to be treated. So, I'll get this back window out. Well, back timber. We'll get that head lining up out of the way because we're going to do the whole of the car. Two old blokes with buggered knees kneeling in the car.
Knees and back and everything.
You get those. You get all that unscrewed, and I'll get back in there and pull the wires out. I like this because high-vis guy is doing all the hard work.
So Desi's owned this car for 15 plus years, and I don't think he's ever really done this much work on it in that whole time. But I do believe that he's enjoyed every minute of working on that car, even though I gave him all the shit jobs.
It's like concrete, isn't it? Well, if anybody can get it, high-vis man can get it. Well, it's getting past our bedtime, guys. Day 2 of cleaning underneath this car. And we have done the first initial Scotch Brite with petrol, and then Scotch Brite with soapy water. And tomorrow we're going to get into it and clean all that grime off there that's still on there, which is going to be a pain in the butt. But we're getting there. So Saturday, so hopefully Saturday, Sunday, we'll have that all painted underneath there. All the inside of the car painted as well. So been a big task. It always was. When I done the HZ, I think it took me on my own personally 2 weeks to clean underneath and get it painted. So we're on track. It's going pretty good at the moment.
Now, I do say we, but mostly Desmond. He's been up to like 8:30, 10 o'clock at night getting this car clean. So I think he's very motivated to actually see something happening to this car after all these years. Those floors just came up perfect with just the wax and grease remover. Next step, let's get some etch primer under there.
Beautiful, Desmond. Get the rest of that floor. And I'm going into town because my stubby holders are ready. Righto, so she's all masked up. We're just plugging up the holes for now. And she is ready for paint tomorrow morning. Oh, hang on a minute. What's that? Grumpy's garage. All right, that's it. Knock off time. Let's have a bourbon. Thanks for making it to the end of the video, guys. That's it for this week. The next video might be a couple of weeks getting out because everything's a little bit tedious. Now, don't forget to enter that competition. It's getting drawn in the next video. We'll know who wins that, and I'll get that mailed out as well as the etching on it. Now, we did get some paint laid down, and it came out quite nice. Check out those stubby holders. They will be going in the prize draw, and I will mail them out with the toolboxes. But we had a drama in the engine bay itself. All the flat areas just got covered in dust. We had a windstorm come through, unfortunately. So I'll just get some sandpaper. I'll have to sandpaper that back. I might be able to polish it, but I don't think I can. It's pretty rough. I'm just going to have to sand it right back and repaint it. Anyway, it is what it is, and you got to do what you got to do. I don't have a spray booth. I do everything in my shed. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.